WoW's next expansion was Datamined, really? Yo, I'm so curious. Let's see if it's really Dragon Isles and what they datamined.
Is this it? Is this World of Warcraft's next expansion?
What's that?
It certainly could be, and I kind of can't imagine Blizzard are thrilled that it came out this way, but here is the deal, everyone. Wowhead have datamined a whole bunch, as they're like to do, and that does include an encrypted mount.
That's a new spell?
And other
Full
things.
spell effect?
To them, it looks like a future expansions deluxe edition. Now you might wonder why it's even in the live game and how that makes sense. Well, that's because Blizzard know they sell way more pre-orders if you can get the goodies instantly. This is something that worked marvelously for them in Legion, where people pre-ordered like mad to unlock the allied races early. And of course in Shadowlands, where the deluxe edition players got access to the Worm mount and the Transmog set during patch 8.3. The encrypted mount, then,
that makes
associated
sense.
with a file called 9 fx /
Drake Mount
Emerald buff. And that does kind of suggest that it is a green dragon.
And why are we getting dragons? Because it's probably going to be Dragon Isles. So the leak was maybe actually really correct that we read. Like, what if this was actually not fake, but an actual, real, legit leak?
You're wondering why there's a 9 there? Well, that's because it would be a part of the 9.x cycle in terms of its inclusion in the game. Now, take a look at these textures. These are also associated.
Interesting textures.
Green, right? And you've got these moon-like shimmery boys as well.
Looks nice.
Say, hello, Elune. Hello, Green Dragons. Hello, Emerald Dream. Now, who are our friends? The Green Dragons. Who did Blizzard hype up during the Shadowlands? Elune.
Elune, yeah.
Who was big in Ardenweald, literally saved by the Winter Queen? Ysera. Now, did any of that shit need to be in Shadowlands? Did any of that need to be in Shadowlands? If it was really the story of Zovaal and Sylvanas.
No, it didn't. Yeah, now that he mentions it, this was a bit off topic for Shadowlands, sort of, right? Because it has some, like, yeah, it's about, like, Elune, about the Emerald Dream and all that, and that this was in freaking Shadowlands. I was like, is that just to add in more content, so Shadowlands has more content, or is there maybe a connection with something that will happen in the future? And will Ysera come back to Azeroth somehow or something? Like, I don't know. Was it like their scenarios? He also, like, died, right? And he came back, right? Could Ysera do the same, basically, and come back to Azeroth somehow? I'm actually wondering about that. Maybe Elune will bring her back or something.
No! That was obviously them foreshadowing the next expansion. Who did we meet in patch 8.3? Merithra, daughter of Ysera, who is the current leader of the Green Dragons.
True.
Patch 8.2 pretty much re-established the Dragonflights in-game, and it did so after 8.0 teased the Dragon Isles via the Island Expedition feature and one of the quest things you got afterwards. And of course that was all right before Rathian then returned to the game for 8.3. But guess what? I think there's also more to it than just that, because there's a pattern of store mounts being from a future expansion. The Fey Dragon, sold to us during MOP, and it is a native to Warlords of Draenor Shadowmoon Valley. Same thing actually goes for the Rylak that was also sold to us during MOP. Now you might say, oh, that's the past. To which I say, no, here's the Silvarian Dreamer on the store, or the 6-month bundle, on the 27th of June 2019. That was a year and a third before Shadowlands came out, and it was, of course, a few months before Shadowlands was even unveiled.
Wow. Yeah, now that when you look at it, it's like they are giving us crumbs, right? And we are following them to get like the full cake or something. Like, no, seriously, there are always some sort of hints, because also from like a story perspective, for the writers that write the lore, the story of World of Warcraft, you need to have a foundation or something that you can build upon, right? So they need to at some point include certain characters, so it's easier, or certain hints, so it's easier to build this into a upcoming new story, a new plot, right? So for the new plot, you need pieces, right? And they put the pieces already here, and also with those type of dragons. Like, if you look at this mount here that we are flying, there we can fly, right? This could be like a regular mob in a certain zone that we are getting or something, right? So they already prepared a certain model that they will add into the game for regular NPCs later or something. Like, it could be, right?
And here's one of them flying around Ardenweald. You know, the place where it totally fits artistically. Not Battle for Azeroth. Seriously, Blizzard are not subtle with this. They've done it multiple times. And
what did I say?
I'm not going to be subtle with this.
What did I say? What did I say? They put mounts in there, like the model or something, and then there's like a regular NPC like here in Shadowlands. So I'm wondering which of the mounts we will see as a regular mob in the Dragon Isles expansion if we get it.
They've done it multiple times. And I'm not going to be subtle with this. NordVPN.com.
NordVPN. Of course, Bellular, NordVPN. It must be.
Gaming is that truth, and it's where you will find a 2-year plan with a huge discount, plus an extra month free. Why get a VPN? Look, it's simple. Do you want to watch content from another region, say on Netflix? Well, easy. Use Nord's 5,000 plus servers to choose your location and use the internet as if you are actually in that place. They also keep you private, so your ISP won't know what sites you're using. That means they can't sell your browsing data to advertisers, nor can they prioritize some of the sites and some of the traffic that you use over others. They've got more too, like NordLocker, which is 500 gigs of secure storage, and NordPass for your passwords. Of course, all in the app and the browser extension that are super easy to use. And again, huge discount at nordvpn.com/Bellular Gaming with that Bellular Gaming promo code. So thanks to them for supporting the channel, and let's talk about what is going on over in the Blizzard store, where they, of course, recently added the Sapphire Skyblazer. And
I actually really love that one. I use that a lot on my Druid. Will this become a regular NPC for Dragon Isles, the Sapphire Skyblazer?
They added the Sapphire Skyblazer and the Sun-Warmed Furline. Moon and sun.
Wow.
A bit like Anshe, Musha, all of that stuff going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the Anshe Musha storyline and all those sort of Azeroth, her sun, her moons, that all got major story updates in Folk and Fairy Tales, which was published this year. No, It wasn't. It was published in 2021. Time is crazy, but hey, Elune, Azeroth, there's stuff going on with them.
Yeah.
And luckily, just before this broke, we actually started editing our big Anshe Musha video. Did you know, as an example, that the Dragonflights were empowered during a rather significant celestial event that, you know, in the mythos that connects to Elune? You know, Elune, the sister of the Winter Queen, who saved Ysera and thought of Ysera as Elune's pet? There are so many connections here, everyone, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if we saw the Skyblazer.
It would be cool if they would meet each other, the Winter Queen and Elune, right?
I really would not be surprised. I mean, even if you look at the Skyblazer, like, you can see that fitting in with Elune-ish things, and as we will really dive into in that upcoming video.
You know what's funny? That's exactly why I'm using this a lot on my Night Elf Druid, because it does have something Elune-ish moon about it, right? Moon style, like the whole magic and stuff. It reminds me of that a lot, so I thought it was like fitting from the aesthetics and
fitting in with Elune-ish things, and as
it's a nice mount.
Really dive into in that upcoming video, and a little bit of what I've talked about today. There are plenty of Elune and you know, dragon connections. Now, as for the Isles itself, well, they're super interesting, right? The Dragon Isles have been a part of Warcraft for like 2 decades plus. Oh, the game's getting old. And of course, it didn't come out 2 decades ago, but in the concepting stage of World of Warcraft, the Dragon Isles were there. They're just off the coast of Calfalas.
You know what's interesting about this place, like you see the artwork here? From what I've heard, and I did a bit of research, was one of the reasons why they actually stopped developing this zone and making it was because it was also too complex and too complicated from a technological perspective with all those extras and stuff they wanted to edit. So the technology wasn't there at this time, right? So they decided to completely drop this and just do something else, right? And add like more quests into Azeroth, for example, because we had fewer quests back in vanilla, right? So yeah, like, they dropped it because there was a technological problem because it wasn't as advanced. And now that we are in the modern days and we have better technology and the Blizzard can, I mean, just look at freaking Shadowlands, how much detail there is now and how the graphics have evolved expansion by expansion, how we have now really nice textures, some interesting structures in WoW. So it's more it's more easy now if they do it, right? So it's definitely possible to pull off a Dragon Isles expansion now, and without breaking a big sweat like back in the day where it's like, oh, we can't make it in time. Oh, we just have 1 year to finish it. Time is running. Sorry, but we need maybe 2-3 years. And then the leader of the company like, no, we don't have 2-3 years. Sorry, then just skip this expansion or something. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Now, they don't obviously have to be there because they're going to do them in a new expansion. And this leak does not confirm, or this data mining, whatever, it doesn't confirm the Dragon Isles. But what it does...
It hints towards it, though.
A little bit emeraldy. Bit emerald dragon. Got us thinking. And that obviously could easily connect to a Dragon Isles. Now, the Dragon Isles are this thing in the lore that we know feck all about, to be honest with you. We really know nothing. There's not a shred of hard evidence. The main thing, of course, and this is in-game and recent, is Rathian, right? Where it turns out Rathian, you know,
he's an interesting character.
He's been wanting to sort of reform the Black Dragons and, you know, kind of take up his charge, but not cock it up like his dad did.
Ouch.
And the thing is, he's been looking for the Dragon Isles. So we do the Black Dragon themed, or whatever it is, Island Expedition in Battle for Azeroth. At the end, we get this scale or something, and, you know, yada, 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 questline goes on, and we basically get the breadcrumb that Rathian and his crew are looking for the Dragon Isles. And it seems
maybe
we'll
help him
like,
later
the other dragons
to find
are just totally stonewalling him. Like, he asks about the Dragon Isles, and they just say nothing. So, why aren't the dragons telling us about the Dragon Isles? Something going on there. As to what they could be, well, the most, well, I think the most well-known image associated with the Isles themselves is this, which is from a very old World of Warcraft art book. Now, obviously, this never got put into the live game. I believe, though, of course, Haven Games, right? You know, always good to have a reason to send people over to the work that he did. You know, obviously when he was still around.
But if you look at those structures, like, that's actually so interesting. If they do it now with the technology they have, and they add like a little bit of green here, I hope it's not gonna be just a desert area like this. If they add like a little bit of green there, like some grasslands, like in Mulgur, for example, like, that would be so interesting. I think there's definitely potential to make something cool with it, right?
Over to the work that he did. You know, obviously.
I got even ships here.
Yeah, he's got a video actually looking at like an old beta. So
that would be so nice.
Out how some feels. You know, you can check that out. And if you look at this art, it'll of course remind you of Stormsong Valley, won't it? So maybe those ideas were recycled, and when we get the Dragon Isles, if we get them, it could be a different thing, right? Now, one way you could do it is that it's where the dragons originally come from. And I mean, me and Jared have got a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah, I also want to know the story behind the dragons.
Also have that coming up in a video in about a week and a bit's time. I think it's the next day. I think actually he'll have the video written on the day that you watch this. The script will be finished, so maybe it'll be out next week. Big thoughts on the dragons anyway, but we think it's pretty likely that there could be deep connections between all of the recent things we've been dealing with in the Warcraft universe, and I think the dragons basically in a sort of proto form hailing from the Dragon Isles, and the Dragon Isles basically being like the most top level secretive Titan research facility, or maybe even first onesy stuff. I think that is totally on the cards. As an example, Raden did not know about the Chamber of the Heart. And like Raden was like he was like the #1 Titan, or the #1 like keeper, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it was Amonthul's essence going into him. So if even Raden wasn't allowed to know about the Chamber of the Heart, what the hell else is going on in Azeroth? And of course, Battle for Azeroth was just going bam, 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 setting things up. What did it also set up? Oh, it set up Mother just spilling the beans that there's somewhere called Uldoris, somewhere called Uldaz, all these other Uld facilities that we don't know about that are on Azeroth. So come on.
Some more Titan stories.
Be there in the Dragon Isles. Now, there was the leak. And if you want the full dive into this leak, there is a like 45-minute deep dive discussion on everything we could get, and also a bit of what we would want that was from last.
Yeah, we also have a video like that on this channel here where we discussed the leak and we had a closer look at all the small details and everything that they plan on adding, including the new races like Black Dragons, what I think about that, and how this will be interesting to play, especially if there was like a freaking Black Dragon Druid, like imagine turning into a scaly version of a bear or something. I mean, you have something similar on the Zandalari trolls, but it would be interesting to see like druids, like Black Dragon druids.
Last week's live stream, that's up on our Clips channel now. By the way, if you're not aware of it, go subscribe to our Clips channel. You'll get, well, lots of content there. So there you go, Clips. But yeah, there's this leak. And
oh yeah,
video for that leak. This is not a video about the leak.
That's the same one that we reviewed.
Or, you know, mix them all together because a lot of people are going to see the leak and be like, whatever, who knows. But for this, it's far more being like Green Dragons. Sort of looks like a new expansion's deluxe edition. That's really...
I also think it's very likely that like those Datamined things we see here, I think it's very likely that they built with those, like they built upon this. Because if not, they have to from scratch find ideas, and I think it's more easy at this point to make a Dragon Isles expansion than to come up with something random. Like, I mean, they could do also on one expansion. It was also an idea that I had, and that would make sense from a lore perspective. We don't know too much about the Void, right? We know so much about like demons, about the Fel and all that, right? We learned so much about Fel, like also lore-wise, but we didn't learn enough about the Void. And what I think could happen in the future, that's just something I'm guessing. We're getting first the Dragon Isles, and then the next expansion will be something about the Void, most likely. I would assume that.
The only thing we can tell. But I think the Dragon Isles is obviously something we're all thinking about. Another good example is, well, let's just say I've heard it from a little birdie that Blizzard kind of likes the idea of testing themes and stuff.
To see how people react.
And ages ago, or not ages ago, it was a decently while ago anyway, they did do like a big dragon-y thing. It
was popular,
so I
right?
if that figures in. But also, of course, they did a big dragon sale over Christmas.
Yeah.
They did a dragon bundle on the store.
People love dragons, let's be honest.
And it's like, I get it, Ysera's in Shadowlands, but come on, they did a big dragon bundle. So, yeah, I think that's kind of something. So overall then, you might be wondering, if it is Dragon Isles, what do you think about it?
I think it would be incredible.
It's on Azeroth. Thumbs up. I want to go
finally.
Back. So
yeah, me too.
Good. That's good. If it is that. Dragons. I like dragons. They're fun. Dragon lore. It's got one or two wee iffy things. You know.
And they have a lot of lore already, and getting more will be even more interesting.
How to deal with that. But anyway, generally dragons, like they're classic Warcraft. They're classic Warcraft. Titans. If they get involved, that's classic Warcraft. Now, my big worry is that Blizzard's current crazy lore bender could continue, and they could cover these parts of the lore in a way that I basically, you know, is just like, ugh. A bit like how they've done the Shadowlands thing. You know the way in the Shadowlands they've kind
like
of
cutting all short,
rich and beautiful and characterful. And
yeah, and cutting it short.
The realm of death. And they've just turned it into some cold, boring maths. I mean, it's been so goddamn boring. So,
yeah, that's the thought that I had when I saw Shadowlands. I felt like, well, isn't it supposed to be like bigger and more beautiful in this? Like, then I realized maybe it was like too complex and there was like too much going on that they decided to, okay, we have a time limit again. And like I said, time limit, and then they have to cut it out, just like the Dragon Isles back in the day. Like if something takes too long for a gaming company nowadays, they just cut it out. Like a lot of games are released like that. You have a game that's like planned to be like 100%, and then you get like a 70 or 60% of what was originally planned. That's how things work in this business, in the gaming development business. You always get like only a 60-70% of what was planned, sadly. There are very few gaming companies that make exceptions and they delay games by like even a year or so, but it's very seldom like that these days.
Look, if they give Elune that treatment, then, oh, we're going to have words. If they give the dragons that treatment, oh, we're going to have words. But, like, if this is an expansion that is taking us back to basics, back to Azeroth, dealing with dragons, very classic Warcraft.
It will also attract classic people a lot, I think. They will come back to Rita.
Stuff, you know, dealing with some of the fallout of BFA, right? Like, something to do with, I mean, if we have a green dragon mount, Could there be some Green Dragon stuff related to, say...
Oh, I still need to farm that one. Yeah, right. I need to grind rep.
Humongous narrative mistake they made.
That one we have already.
You know, that could all be cool. So I think there is tremendous potential. I also think it's very, very likely we are going back to Azeroth instead of, you know, crazy into the stars, because Ian hasn't coached this himself. He said that they had heard people's feedback on WoW expansions. They'd heard people's feedback on the stuff feeling like, oh, this is a bit too crazy, a bit too disconnected. He did then go and say, you know, like, space has been a thing in WoW for the longest time. And he's totally right for that. I would say it's space when it still feels like a fantasy game. That's Outland. Whereas Shadowlands is taking us to the realm of death and making it cold and mathematical and boring and full of robots, which is like the lamest shit you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, progenitor races, it's kind of hard to do them right at the best of times, so maybe it is just murky territory at a very fundamental level.
Yeah, there isn't much
the sort of
freedom,
thing, it's
maybe.
like, it's maybe interesting on paper, but it's not emotionally resonant. That's kind of how it feels to me. So, you know, I do have those worries, but Ian, anyway, he admitted or whatever, he said they heard the feedback, and that in future, perhaps, you know, they'll do one more grounded Azerothian expansion, then maybe they'll do a more crazy out there one, then maybe they'll go grounded again. So, all this shit fits. It all fits. And if it is Dragon Isles, I'm happy enough. Yeah. Yeah, in principle, I'm totally down for the Dragon Isles. Give me a new island. And I then say...
That's what everyone wants these days, if you check out forums.
Or what we can do in the rest of Azeroth. You know, for me, that's like the really big thing.
Like, the crazy part about the Dragon Isles is, like, the feedback after the leak was just such a good one. I think it would be so stupid from Blizzard to not make this expansion, because everyone is freaking hyped about it. There is hype again about WoW. Like, if you as a company, you see, like, a little decline in popularity and player base, and then, like, there's a leak, even if the leak is fake, let's say, and there's so much hype, you should take this kind of information, like that hype, and decide, hey, you know what? Even though we didn't plan to do this kind of expansion, but people really want that, you know what? Let's just give them what they want. This will make the players happy, and this will make, of course, our wallets happy, because people are going to come back, and they're gonna spend more on also the storm mounts and stuff, like seriously, and the boosts, of course. So, yeah. I think it's really good if they make a Dragon Isles expansion.
But I think fundamentally being
Holy
in
shit.
sort of a more grounded Azerothian setting that can also give us some cool new stuff.
Yes,
100%.
please. Please.
I'm down. So
I'm more than down.
Isles, then awesome. Good luck. Hopefully we get some kick-ass dragon mounts.
Oh, yeah.
In-game.
In-game, please.
And
not
that's it for me. Let me know, what do you think about what Wowhead posted, their data mining, and what do you think about the Dragon Isles League that we covered? And also, if you would like a more sort of boots-in-the-ground lore video about the Dragon Isles, check out what we published like 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, I need to check this one out.
Video into that.
I don't know more about the lore.
Turns out that one was pretty well timed. Okay, have a wonderful day. Hey,
you too.
I get it. A lot of us, we think about this WoW stuff and we think, ugh, you know, because of the recent issues. But
it's gonna be fine.
If there can be a good thing, if there can be a good thing, I'm going to take that. I'm going to run with it. I'm obviously going to be, you know, trepidatious. I'm not going to go too crazy. But if there's a world, if Warcraft's coming home, I'm going to support that.
Yes.
So as I said, have a brilliant day. Let me know what you think. See you next time.
Yeah, I hope this really happens, like the Dragon Isles expansion. Like the leak, we still don't know if it's fake or real, but it got me so hyped, and a lot of you guys are hyped too about it. Like, it would be so sick, it would be cool to go back to Azeroth and be on the Dragon Isles. And the new playable race, Dragon, like, I like my Night Elf Druid right now, and I'm also like gearing it up and stuff, but I'm so tempted to make like another Druid, Dragon Druid, if this becomes a playable race, just because I think they will have like cool transformations. Or maybe a warrior or something is also interesting. But yeah, what do you guys think about this data mining here? I mean, we clearly see this with those new mounts and stuff, right? And the Sapphire Skyblazer, like, it could be a new mob that's coming, just like with the dragon, the one that was also seen in Ardenweird and Shadowlands. So they often do this, like that's just like a pattern when they develop expansions, that in one expansion prior they offer like a certain mount that will be a new mob in a new expansion. Like, it's just like that, right? So I don't think this is so wrong to assume that this could be back in Azeroth or has something to do with the Emerald Dream or dragons. It's very likely. I also see that a lot, and also from the leaks it's really pointing towards that. So yeah guys, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and what do you think about this? Do you think this is like legit and you think we will get the Dragon Isles? Or what other expansion idea do you guys have? Let me know in the comment section. And I would really appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up. This will help out with the YouTube algorithm. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.